She's cracking out a cold
open
one.
our drink.
Yeah, I got some.
I think so.
Yeah. I can see I can't drink any more alcohol after last night. I drank 2 bottles of wine to myself.
Oh.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Playing video. I know. This is where depression starts, isn't it? And alcoholism.
As Jordan sips his wine. Like, yeah, that sounds awful.
The thing is, I don't have a hangover, so I can do it anytime I want and not have a problem. Why am I so pink?
That's how that works.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, last night that was fun. Hello to everybody who was there. They were like, "Hey, you were really drunk last night." And I was thinking, I don't even remember talking to you in chat. So that's
Night. That was a good night.
yeah, it was fun. It was really good fun. Like, yeah, just sitting on my own, chatting away on here, playing wrestling games and gang beasts and things like that. That was good.
Oh, that's what that invite was for.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, Ben's streaming right now. Why is he sending me this invite for a game I don't have?
I pretty much invited everybody that was online. I was like, I'm just going to click invite, and whoever answers, can. We had like 2 people pop in who just got that invite and was like, oh yeah, why not? Let's play some gang
But
beasts.
isn't it a bit of a stretch to call that thing a game?
Yeah, it's a big buggy mess, but it's so much fun. Oh
yeah,
it's been like an hour and a half just pacing myself. It's so much fun. Brenda said she laughed her ass off. Yeah, drunk gaming is the best. So you don't get your willy out on stream. Andre, I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been?
I've been traveling the world, everybody. And by the world, I mean America, and that's it.
That is the world, isn't it?
Why would anybody want to
That's
leave?
my world, guys.
That's it here.
Why
I
would
went to California, and then I went to Colorado, and then I went down to Florida. I had a wedding to go to. I had a job in California.
Ooh.
I had friends in Colorado. Yeah, I got a job in California. You know how I do.
Nice.
And yeah, I've just been super busy recently. I won a video making contest. I'm not sure if I got to talk about that.
Ooh.
I won a video making contest, guys. I made a video. I'm the guy who made all the interstitials for Ben because I'm bored.
Just wait for the the game
nice.
one. Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to work for free again. But yeah,
best freelancer ever.
But yeah, I've been traveling a lot. I haven't been able to play a lot of games. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about every game I've been wanting to play for the past fucking 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Oh my god. I've been playing Bayonetta for the past, like I beat Bayonetta already and I love it, but like God, I want to play something else right now.
Do you see who tweeted
Have there
about
been
Bayonetta?
any new games the last 3 weeks?
No, nothing important.
Nothing important, I guess.
Did you see who tweeted about Bayonetta?
Who?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Really?
is tweeting about a boss.
She's
like she
all up on that Bayonetta action.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. She was like, I know that this next level is going to be really hard because the boss was so difficult in this random level. I was like, what? See, yeah, Lady Gaga's a fan of Bayonetta.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I knew me and Lady Gaga had something in common. I knew it.
Yeah.
But yeah, been doing that, and yeah, glad to see you guys. I haven't seen all of you in
likewise
for fucking ever. It feels like.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's like I said. I think it's the first time we call them the regular. This is the Click Click Play regular crew, guys. So and we're all here. It's like Thanksgiving.
And Flighty.
No, hey Flighty, Flighty is regular.
Perfect. I haven't joined in a half a year or so.
No. But yeah, it's like Thanksgiving. When is Thanksgiving? Is that soon?
That is in like
next week.
Oh,
no,
is it next week? Oh,
it's next week.
I'm going to be in Norway for
have
Thanksgiving.
no plans.
No, it's the week after. It's on a
Can't
Thursday,
be that much
actually.
to be thankful for.
No.
Yeah. We'll save that for the next fucking thing.
Wait for the Click Click Play political podcast coming. Well, that'd be good to do one of them.
No, it wouldn't.
No, that would be fun. That'd be the 100th special. Talking no games, only politics.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Mellum, yeah, you're there.
I'm here.
Is that new internet you've got as well? Because you look really clear.
You look really crisp, my friend.
Yeah.
Very crisp.
Oh, nice.
You've been getting.
It's not the internet because the internet here sucks. I have 1 megabyte upload, so that's great.
Oh.
Must be the lighting and the air here in Norway.
Yeah, it's very fresh. But you've been getting up really early lately, haven't you?
Yeah, but not today.
No, what time did you get up? Oh, I bet you still beat me.
11.
I got out of bed at 3
That's
o'clock
fast.
today. Also, I don't have a hangover
Oh,
because I slept through it. Perfect.
It's a nice plan.
So what have you been doing in the mornings? Has you been climbing mountains?
Yeah, I've been trying to be like doing something good for my body, but today it stopped.
Yeah.
Says the man with a coffee cup full of vodka.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than beer.
Yeah, I've stopped beer. I've stopped drinking beer. Have you, Mom? When was the
I've
last
been
time
drinking beer today also, but
Oh,
now
okay.
I'm only drinking vodka.
Gone from beer to vodka? Wow. Yeah, I've not drunk beer
Yeah.
in 2 months now. Pure wine, just wine. You get drunk faster with wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan, you're here as always. How are you?
I'm here. I'm queer.
You are.
What's up?
We're used to it.
What's happening?
Someone clip that. Well,
Things has changed.
I've
Yeah.
been traveling the
Yeah,
world,
somebody
i.e. the
clip that
UK.
so we have proof.
we've got proof. Now. Been traveling the UK, John. Where in the UK have you been?
Went to Scotland.
Birmingham.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
why would you go to Scotland?
Good guess on Birmingham, but yeah, no, Scotland.
Close enough.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, Birmingham. That Birmingham, which is
Yeah,
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Birmingham here.
Hey,
Yeah,
why did you go? Where did you go to in Scotland? I actually quite like Scotland. I mock it, but it's really nice.
Near Glasgow.
Oh, maybe
It's called
not.
Uddingston.
And the places
Best city.
and there are pieces. There are like areas in Glasgow that have a lower life expectancy than the Gaza Strip,
No, that's Scotland.
just as a whole. As a whole,
No, I hear
actually.
Scotland's improved quite a lot over the last decade or so. It's not as bad as you'd think. I thought that in my head, Glasgow was just like loads of concrete buildings where poor people live, but it's not. It's actually quite cultural and nice.
Really, Glasgow.
It is very lovely there.
Yeah, Scotland has improved over the last 500 years.
I only got to one bar fight when I was in Glasgow.
You went to
so-
Glasgow,
Yeah.
Flighty, and you were in a fight.
Yeah, I've
This
been
is just
there.
the
I spent
most
like a
Flighty
week
thing.
there last year.
And you were there last year.
I got along. Yeah, I got along very well with the people there. I did very well for myself there.
Oh,
Wink.
I mean, they do have very low
Talking about sex, I
self-esteem.
had a lot of really good sex while I was there.
How is the self-esteem in Glasgow?
The self-esteem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an all-time low, but
I mean, everybody there is just so nice. So I assume they're
They're very
either
giving.
that or like I'm too intimidating, and they were like, "Oh, let's be nice to her."
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think that's the
from?
case though, because I'm only about 5'3".
Yeah. Are you English? No, I'm American. Oh, great. That's how they speak, isn't it?
I was asked where in Canada I was from though, because I'm so polite.
Mm. And what did you
They were
reply with?
drunk. I told them, "Oh, I'm not from Canada," and we just kind of stopped there, and they left. They walked away.
Oh, this is awkward. So how have you been, Flighty? What have you been up
I've
to?
been, oh Jesus Christ! I spent October getting things ready for a gallery show.
Ooh.
I actually have an example of one of the
Oh, these
pieces
are
I made
brilliant.
right here.
What's
Made a
it-
bunch of little things like this, so you can take them to your mama's house, put them up in the bathroom.
And what does that say on it?
It says "uppity cunt."
please send me 7 of those.
It's
You got some-
Father's Day today.
Other than that, I started BioShock 2,
Oh.
and
Oh, is it
I've
games?
I-
Did Flighty mention games?
Time to play the game. It's all about the game. And how you play it, all about control. And if you can take it, all about your dad. If you can play it, it's all about pain. And who's gonna make it?
What games are you playing, you bastards? You. Flighty, thank you so much for that perfect segue into the gaming category. So, Flighty, I hear you've been playing BioShock Infinite too. Oh, BioShock 2. Oh,
BioShock 2.
yeah.
That game gets such a bad rap, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's actually I don't like it as much as Infinite, but I like it better than the first one. So that's where I stand with that.
Oh, so your order
I
is
actually
3, 2, 1.
I think if the first BioShock were released today, BioShock 2 would be to BioShock 1 as Burial at Sea is to BioShock Infinite. So like a complete like story add-on instead of its own separate game.
I never played.
That's what
I don't remember anything. I'm trying to remember BioShock 2. You played as a Big Daddy in that, right? I thought that was
Yes.
kind of cool. And you have like the drill in one hand and a gun in the other. But like I can't remember. I guess I played it in like a weird time where I was like, I just played BioShock 1, and I was like, all right, BioShock 2 just came out. I played BioShock 1 around the time BioShock 2 came out. So I feel like I was like dead on BioShock by that time. I beat it. I'm like, oh, this is great. And now it's just more of it. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. That's why when Infinite was announced, I was like, oh, this is incredible. Like now it's like a completely new location. I was getting kind of bored of being underwater. And yeah, I mean, I like BioShock too. I'm like a fan, but yeah, that's my piece, guys.
I've not played it, and I love BioShock, and I love BioShock Infinite, and I think those two games complement each other really, really well. I've not played the second one, and you're right. I think when it came out, a lot of people just assumed that it was a bit of a cash-in. It was reusing all the same kind of art design and stuff. But from what I can tell, kind of in more recent years, people have grown to it. People quite like it now.
It's really interesting to see all of the BioShock and the BioShock or the BioShock Infinite influences in BioShock 2, because you fight an enemy called the Big Sister, and she sounds just like Songbird when she's fighting you. So I think that's really interesting how, because in BioShock Infinite, they kind of explore how all of those creatures are made and that they all kind of come from the same technology. So I thought that was really interesting and cool.
That is cool. What a cool series. I need to go back and play BioShock 1 and probably play 2 for the first time, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I just remember I got really scared when playing the first game.
Yeah.
Pussy, though.
No, the first. I'm the same thing. First one, I was like, I had no idea what it was. I'd never played it before, and I was like, oh, we're going deep into the water. All right, okay, I'm kind of out. I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me.
What? That's what the game is.
I know. I got it for like nothing.
Oh, there's water in this? No.
What did you know about the game before you started playing it?
Absolutely
The
nothing.
fact it was underwater turned you off.
Someone said it was a kind of a cyberpunk style game,
Awesome.
and so I was like, nope, we're underwater. Okay, I'm done.
You mean like steampunk?
Yeah,
Or
maybe
steampunk
steampunk.
than
That's the one.
cyberpunk?
I was gonna
Waterpunk.
say, anybody who calls it cyberpunk needs to be slapped upside the head.
Waterpunk.
But Sean was right.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
Ah.
But I played
Bathysphere punk.
I played Infinite, and I think like the first few hours of Infinite were like one of the most high speed, intense gameplay I've ever played. It's just so awesome.
Fucking gorgeous.
God,
Yeah.
I love BioShock Infinite. I feel like that game gets a bad rap now. Like people are like, I feel like there's been a backlash on BioShock Infinite over the past like year. Everyone's like, it's whatever. The gameplay is boring. I'm like, I love that. I beat that game in one sit-in, and it took me still like it took me like 10 hours of one sit-in.
Too much shooting in that game. Too much boring shooting. But the story, it's got one of the best stories in video games, I think. And some of the best art design as well. Like when you first enter that city and you're walking through the church, all that kind of stuff. I think it's incredible. And then going into the city for the first time, and you've got the barbershop quartet singing and stuff.
Like when you exit the church, when like it's like the same feeling you got when you played BioShock 1 and you saw Rapture for the first time. It was so similar, but you're like completely in control walking around. I thought that was great.
I think to recapture that feeling that they got from the first game without just doing the same thing, which ironically wouldn't have captured the same feeling because you've seen it. I guess that's what I mean about the two games complement each other very well.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, Mellon?
I've been playing this new indie game, Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were gonna say real life.
That game sucks.
I hate that game.
Graphics are
Fucking
good.
graphics, awful. Story is depressing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now I finished it yesterday, and
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Let's talk about the ending.
Let's not talk about the ending.
I was like, wait.
I keep putting off playing the game because I just don't want to come to an end. But every time I play it, it's like 3 hours disappear of my life, and I'm like, I really need to do something. I'm probably gonna do that. I'm gonna play
I'm on
some
a
more
new
tonight.
playthrough already, so
Ooh, that would be. Can you like once you finish it, is there loads of stuff to do?
oh yeah, and you can do everything.
Yeah.
You can do every mission again, but I just want to play it in a different style, so
Yeah.
I started a new.
Are you gonna play as a badass?
No, just gonna. The thing was, the first two chapters I played and I did everything I saw on the map. I
Mhm.
just followed through and did everything, and it took me a week or over a week to do 2 chapters. So I just had to go and only do story missions, and then
Okay.
it took me 2 days, and
Yeah.
I did the last 50% or so.
That's what I love about.
60%.
I love it's not one of like one thing that I really don't like about open world games such as Assassin's Creed is when they kind of gate you off with a level requirement and stuff like that. Here, if there is a bit, if you do have to wait, you might need to just wait a little bit. Like if you're moving camp at one point, it'll say, "Hey, these guys are celebrating or they're having a party. You can't, come back later." So it gives you a reason to disappear for a bit before coming back, and it's not, "Oh, I've got to grind and level up." And it really, the fact that the story itself is, I read 60 hours or so, maybe it's less than that. If you're just focusing on the story missions, but it's you don't need all this extra filler and grinding to try and level you up.
Yeah, the only restrictions there is in the game is there is some clothes you can't buy before you have done some stuff, and also there's some weapons you can't get before you've gone so and so far.
Yeah, that's
but
expected,
other
isn't it?
than that, you can do whatever you want. So,
I'm gonna play some after.
Fashion is the only reason I played
It's hard to talk about the game without spoiling anything, so I'm not going to say too much other than this is now one of my favorite games of all time, and it's the perfect prequel. It made I always liked Red Dead 1, but for me it wasn't that important. When I look back on the story now, Red Dead 2 makes Red Dead 1 even better.
Nice.
It's just together they are such a great story. I don't know. It's just amazing.
I want to see why Bill's the way he is and why John's the way he is. Why how they all like became the way they are in Red Dead Redemption 1, and I'm really looking forward to finding that out. And I think we did a launch special last week. Maybe in the future one when I finish it, because I probably will in the next couple of weeks. Although there's loads of games coming out. But I'm going to try and finish it before the online drops. We can maybe do a spoiler cast.
Other game that's better, Ben?
Well, I've been playing a game called.
Everybody's muscling in on my indie territory.
Yeah,
I've
been playing an indie game. So a really small game. In fact, actually, it's the biggest selling game of all time. I've been playing Tetris. Tetris Effect in VR came out. I mean, it's not just in VR. You can play it in 4K. 60 FPS, and it's just
so jealous.
Mind blowing. Wow. It's brilliant. I've only played it in VR. I think I played one bit out of VR, but I've been playing in VR, and it's just incredible. I've looked on Twitter and like seen comments and stuff, and people going, "Oh, it's just Tetris with music and things." It's not. It's a lot more than that. The music is in harmony with the the blocks as they're dropping. So you play Tetris however it normally works throughout these. I'm just doing the campaign or whatever it's called, or adventure mode, I don't know, but you just journey, that's it. Yeah, the journey.
Wow.
And it alters, like the music will alter the atmosphere around you wherever you are. There's random windmills blowing and just bizarre things going on around you that like also kind of mix in with music. And as you're progressing through each level, the more lines you clear. So I'm playing on normal, which means to win that round, you have to clear 36 lines. And for every, let's say, 6 lines, or I don't know however many it is, that you clear, it'll change or it'll add something to the music. And the vibrations will change. Then the speed of like the blocks coming down will go up and down. So last night I was playing some at, I think it was just at 9, speed 9. I think maximum is 15. I don't know if it's any higher than that, but it was just insane. I couldn't even. I had to try like 3 or 4 times before passing that level. But that game is just beautiful. The music,
vibrations, you'd say.
Vibration. Now you can reroute. I've not even tried this, but you can get the vibrations to come out of a different controller. So can shove another controller up your ass and play Tetris.
Is that controller sold by a company called Romantics by chance?
But yeah, I'm looking. I wondered if that's maybe the You know, the Res Infinite had a bodysuit that vibrated along with the game. I wonder if you can plug that in and use it for Tetris as well.
God, I hope so.
It's so.
Why else would you play?
Fuck, I hope so.
But I think now a Tetris game.
I'm supposed to be the creep here. Back off.
Fucking with that bodysuit so bad.
And before if somebody told me before this was announced that a Tetris game might become might be in the top 5 game of the year for you, then I'd have laughed. I mean, I think we joked when Tetris had made its way into the top 100 games by Click
Or mocked me when I inserted Tetris into the top 100.
Yeah, we're like, oh, we just put there just to make it look like a proper top 100 games thing. But that game Tetris needs to be removed and replaced with this, because this game is just
I'm okay with
phenomenal.
that. I'm okay with replacing original Tetris with this Tetris.
But like,
just before, on the note,
just before John, because I know he's also had kind of experience of this, but Dave, he hates video games, hates them. Like, he played Red Dead Redemption for about 15 minutes and was like, yeah, I had no idea, I just turned it off, and like really does not like them. But he has been so addicted to Tetris, like just went and spent, what did he know the other day, the demo was downloading, he was playing the demo. I went and had lunch, went for a siesta, came back, and it's not even taken his VR off, and I was like, I've just had a siesta in my lunch. And he's like, what? How long have I been? Like, maybe 4 hours you've had the headset on?
Years.
And that was just for the demo that he kept repeating. So yeah, it resonates with people who don't necessarily play video games, as I think John's going to say as well.
Yeah, so I could totally relate to that. So my wife loves it. She loved Puyo Puyo Tetris on the Switch as well. And I just think it's...
Didn't you delete it? Didn't you delete that when she beat your high score?
No.
I remember that.
I just need more room for my memory card.
Sure.
It's not funny.
I think one, Tetris is a classic game. It's really straightforward, so like people that don't necessarily play a lot of games understand it. 2, I think it goes back to that Game Boy when it was packed with Tetris. So many people have had experience with that. People that were kids and maybe don't play games these days, but they understand how Tetris works. The other thing I was going to say is that Digital Foundry have already done a piece on this. And it's really interesting. It's like a 40-odd minute video, and they just go back to the origins of Tetris and kind of go through everything right up until Tetris Effect, and kind of pull out all the major milestones of different Tetris games. It's just really interesting to see how it's evolved. And spoilers,
does it take 40 minutes to say that it's the same game?
No.
You're one of those trolls on there. It's like, it's just Tetris with music and special effects.
Well, at the end, spoilers, they actually decide that Tetris Effect is the best ever Tetris game. So that's really impressive. What's the deal with this? Is it going to come to other platforms, or is it like a PlayStation?
It's made and developed. I think it's published by the same guys that did. Well, it's developed or directed by the same guy that did Res Infinite. But I've heard that like it's the same company. So they came to Steam like was it 6 months later, or even less than that. So I can imagine it coming to Vive if anyone's got a. I mean, you can just play it on Steam.
It's a big surprise hit. Like I didn't. It's only the last month or so this has been on the radar, and I didn't realize it would be as successful. I don't know what it's selling, but in terms of like critical appraisal, it seems really successful. It would be a shame, as much as as a PlayStation fanboy, I'd like to keep it on PlayStation. It would seem a shame not to have this on everything, because it's such a nice experience. Like a Switch.
Yeah, it probably will. On a Res Infinite did it? I think you got to like look at Res Infinite and see. I mean, the second I saw that it was made by it was directed by the same guy that did that, I was like, oh, this is what I want for VR. I loved Resident Evil 7 in VR. It's great. There's Astrobot. It's getting amazing reviews, but the thing I want for VR, it's not down to things with great graphics and great gameplay. It's not great graphics, but it's things like this that are just messing with your senses that normal video games on like a 2D monitor won't help.
How do you find playing this for a good while on VR then?
Oh, fine. Absolutely there's no motion sickness, because you're constantly facing the like the Tetris board. So there's things that fly over you, go past you. No, it doesn't get too much. The games get too much because it's an intense, like especially when it speeds up.
The game doesn't fuck around. Have you finished it starts as like a campfire, and then you've got what look like kind of Native Americans circling the campfire. Have you done that one?
Yeah, like the chanting one. Yeah, I did that one.
I finished it earlier. I've been playing it all day. I've put hours into just getting through that one. When it goes to level 10 speed, I'm like,
I got up to. Have you been to one where it's like real funky jazz, and every time you move a Tetris block,
I was just before this, yeah. So that was part of that because they do the levels in 3.
Okay, it goes back to the chanting one.
Okay, so I finished that, and now I'm like in the pieces kind of look like leaves or watermelons or something.
I've not done that one.
It sounds like you guys are describing like an acid trip.
It pretty much is.
I was gonna say it sounds a lot like that one time when I was 17
in Glasgow.
What I like about it, and I've never played a Tetris game that does this. Like Ben said earlier, it's set like for each level. It's like, right, you just need to get 36 lines. And every time I've played Tetris before, it's kind of just open ended. Do what you can, and never know if I'm doing well or not. Whereas this gives you a target, and then you know it doesn't really matter if you filled up a bit of the screen. If you've got 2 lines left, you're just going to target those 2 lines. It just gives me something to aim for in Tetris that I haven't had before. And it's making me look up tactics and stuff for Tetris. So I think I come out of this being a way better Tetris player. I'll go back to Puyo Puyo actually and fucking kick my wife's ass.
Have you tried
Puyo Puyo, right? That's what you mean?
As far as this new Tetris goes, does VR actually like enhance the experience, or is it more like like the 3D movies where they would just like, you know, make little things like pop out at you sort of
it
as a
definitely
supplementary thing?
Definitely enhances. They've even done it with a pro Tetris player. They gave him the VR, and apparently he was like, I don't know if it was just them trying to promote the game, but he said that it was much better for him. And I'm better at it when I'm playing it in VR. Same with Thumper. I've got on the Switch, and I am terrible at that game on the Switch. But stick a PSVR on me, and I'm blasting through it. VR definitely helps you just home in around it, and also you can see a bit further in the distance, and it's like coming towards you, so you're a bit more aware of it. And I mean, you don't get that with Tetris Effect, but I like that game's so good. And John, I didn't notice until somebody told me afterwards that you press R2 and it slows down, and you kind of get as many lines as possible in 10 seconds or whatever. And there's some extra. Is that always been there with Tetris, or is this a brand new concept added?
If you watch that Digital Foundry video, like each of those little mechanics that are built into this have basically been added to Tetris as the years go along. I didn't know about the press R2 to slow down time stuff until I got to that level, and he was just kicking my ass. Like I played it for the last day, and didn't really want to bump down the difficulty, so I actually went back and did the tutorials. And in the advanced one, it tells you about that stuff. So you can swap a shape with the next one that's supposed to come. I don't really find that useful.
I think it's good for saving. I'll use that for saving the long ones, and then when I do hit that R2, I can just use the long ones to clear out lines. Most people they've no idea.
There's a lot going on, but definitely the slowdown one. I needed that to finish the campfire level.
But that doesn't. I don't think that helps, does it? That doesn't clear lines off your score. However many lines you get from when it's slowed down, it doesn't go towards your 36.
It does lower. I assume that it would. If it doesn't, it does at least. It takes lines off your grid, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, so it makes it easier.
So if you're 10 speed and your grid is rapidly creeping up, you want to place things quite strategically. Does it not? So it doesn't add to your lines number. No. Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah, but it's
quite brutal, I think.
Yeah, like the one with the funky jazz, it went up to speed 9, but it only does it. It doesn't like go up and up. It went up to speed 9 for maybe like 5 lines. I had to clear 5 or 6 lines, then it would drop it. So I think if I'd cleared 20, I think it was like 24 lines. If once I cleared 24, from then for the next 6, it was up at like speed 9, and I was getting like to 24, where pretty much everything
one after
was
that I'm talking about. That campfire
I
one.
haven't started that one yet.
You get to like 23, something like that. And then it goes to level 10, and it doesn't end until you get to 36. It's a fucking nightmare. There's so many more levels left on that grid. I'm like, Jesus.
Actually, I think that's where Dave. I think that's where Dave got to. He said that he was going cross-eyed and had to turn it off because it was just so fast.
Yeah, I've probably played it 30, 40 times that same level to get through it.
Jeez.
I have a memory in regards to Tetris, and I think it's really cool that we're talking about this right now in 2018, because my first exposure to Tetris was when I was a young lady, and I was taking computer classes. But the computers that we were using were like the green screen Macs, and the only like game that they had on there was like Tetris and Brick Breaker and some other bullshit game that I wasn't good at, so it doesn't matter. But like we would fuck around for hours not doing our assignments because we were trying to like beat each other's high scores in Tetris. And I think that's really cool that we're like talking about this right now. Like if I had known when I was maybe like 8 or 9 at the time. So if I had known some,
15 years later.
Years later. That sounds right. I don't remember how old I am. I'll have to check the portrait in the attic.
It's still, but like, did you watch the Giant Bomb Quick Look, John? They did a quick look, and there's a guy, Ben Pack. He's absolute beast at it, and I really want to just practice and get better and much better at it. But also, they do special. There are different modes as well, so it's not just obviously the journey. But you can go and do others.
Challenge.
Yeah, they have challenges where, oh my god, there's one point where it turns upside down, like the Tetris thing, and all the controls become inverted. There's one where your Tetris blocks drop that are like 3 times the size of a normal block. There's one with a bomb. I'm not sure what happened, but I managed to defuse it. I have no idea if that was a good thing or not. But yeah, there's like lots of other challenges, and you can like select what you want. If you want to chill, there's the one called chill. There's another endurance. Various different modes, and you can just choose whichever one you fancy and try and get a high score in it.
Yeah, that sounds really lovely.
Mm.
Oh my god, I could just get high and do that for hours.
Also,
absolutely.
There is once you finish the campaign, it's not really a spoiler, but once you finish it, you can go through the levels and just without playing Tetris, just sit and chill and like experience it and have it on in the background.
Nice.
But yeah, that's Tetris, game of the year.
It'll be my top 10. I think.
Yeah, definitely mine. Top. It's definitely my new favorite VR game, and that means a lot because I loved Res Infinite.
I'm really interested to see what your top 10 lists are going to look like versus mine, because I'm playing games that should have been reviewed maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but now that I can afford them,
yeah, we'll get a Flighty top 10.
I'll be able to put them on a list of some kind.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Nier is on my top 10. I know I'm not allowed to do that, but
no, I mean like, well, the top 10. I'm going to do mine for games that came out this year, but if you guys want to do like top 10 of games you played this year, that's
yeah, I'm probably gonna do that.
I have no other choice. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all I have.
But if you do want to check out me playing the first 2 hours or so of Tetris Effect, I went in totally blind. It's on youtube.com/BiggusBennus, and yeah. Freaking amazing.
Sorry, what was that URL again?
youtube.com/BiggusBennus.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I wanted to burn it in my memory.
Andre, so what games have you been playing while you've been over in Yankee Land?
I literally only got to play like 1 second of Octopath Traveler, and I was like, I'm all right. And I just turned it off and moved to Bayonetta. I needed something because I just beat Final Fantasy VI. And it took me 100 hours. And
you don't want another one.
I'm burnt out on slow-paced RPGs right now. And I went to Bayonetta, played that for a little bit. I've been playing Red Dead 1. I just want to beat it and then start Red Dead 2. I'm trying to like not spend money right now. So I'm just lying to myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm probably going to get a better experience if I play Red Dead 1 first. I'm just trying to wait for Black Friday when it's like $10 off. And I'm like, all right, I can do that.
Word. That's how you do that.
It is smart to play Red Dead 1 first.
Yeah, I'm catching so many things I didn't know. I'm really glad I'm doing this because I just know so much about John Marston right now, and now it'd be really interesting because I kind of forgot most of Red Dead 1.
Yeah, me too. When I was playing it, even though I played it like 2 years ago as well. I did a lot of some of the stranger missions are really interesting. Have you found the guy who was trying to make it to California?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
It's yeah, I won't say anything, but it's really kind of interesting, and you follow it and you get a little bit invested in it, and then you'll see.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play this 8-year-old game. I'm so fucking pumped.
It's actually a brilliant game. I mean, obviously it won, but
it stands up
still,
so well. Yeah.
You're playing this on Xbox One, yeah?
Yeah, and it looks incredible. Yeah. Jordan told me they made enhancements for backwards compatibility. And if they didn't, this looks like it could have came out on this system, and I would have been. I mean, that's a regular Xbox. It looks like it could have came out on the Xbox One, and I would have been fine with these graphics. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. It's so open. It's so beautiful. Like, the art style is great. Like art style over graphics at this point. Like if you nail a vision, it stands up. It stands the test of time longer.
And
that's why Celeste is going to be incredible in 20 years from now.
I love how they, like how in Red Dead Redemption 2, they've gone kind of north of the map. So the actual map from Red Dead Redemption 1, as far as I know, is fully included in Red Dead Redemption 2. But I love how...
Spoilers!
You see it the second you play the game.
Motherfucker.
But you can... but I just love how it's like the majority of that map is really different style to the Red Dead Redemption 1 map. You know, it's loads of grass, loads of fields, loads of like wooded areas. I thought you were putting your hand up for a minute there. Please, ask a question. Although I did get kind of a Thieves Landing vibe from Saint Denis. I just got to chapter 4 where you go to Saint Denis.
Saint Denis.
Oh, the interactions and stuff at that point when you go to the mansion are just...
When are you guys gonna have a spoiler cast?
Well, I think later we might be talking about games coming out, and looking at the ones that are coming out, I'd say near the end of like mid-December.
I think we'll have a good discussion.
Yeah, and Jordan is going to have one done.
Game of the year one, yeah. We'll probably be mentioning...
Man, that game of the year is going to be incredible. That's going to be a very long discussion. I'm excited.
For 2 to 10, yeah.
Tetris sucks.
I wondered what the...
Why do you have it?
That was so quiet.
I was like spending
that out real fast.
Last few minutes, I've just been thinking, what's that clicking? All I can hear is like clank, clank, clank.
I forgot I had the microphone on. Sorry.
I just wondered what it was. Brilliant. And not. It's a lie. I can hear myself. Flight, you played any other games? Apart from BioShock?
I was working on Fear before October rolled around and I had to take a break. I'm really surprised at how good that game looks. When did it even come out?
That came out like in 2000, fucking very low.
Yeah, like it was like
crazy.
I think maybe I was like leaving high school, but I'm really impressed with like how the lighting effects are and how nice the graphics are, and I've gotten some really legitimate scares out of that game. Like you get kind of like jump scared by an apparition, and she makes me waste my ammo because I have to shoot at her because I'm scared, and I'm really upset about that. But I think Fear and Fear 2 and Fear 3 are on sale at like GOG or maybe on Steam or something. If you can, you should pick those up. I recommend them.
2005, the first game was released.
I was 1 year into college. 1 year into college.
2005.
So
12. No.
I think
17.
I think that's all I've been playing. I think that's all I remember playing before the booze-soaked art rush of October.
Do you have any other things? So you've got Uppity Cunt. I'm sure there are some others, aren't there?
What'd you say?
I do have other ones, but they're all hanging in a gallery right now, and hopefully people are buying them because I have no room in my house for them. So
what do the others say on them?
I have Listen Here, Motherfucker. I have shit. What were some of my favorites?
Shit.
Fucking Be Nice to Yourself.
Love it.
They all involve some kind of horrible profane language, every single one of them.
Perfect.
So, and they're all like on this really like pretty flowery fabric. So I'm pretty excited to see who takes them home and who doesn't.
And can people buy them off the internet, or is it purely from the gallery?
Just at the gallery right now, although I am thinking about kind of like making some extra pieces and throwing them up on
Etsy.
on some place where somebody doesn't take a cut of my goddamn profit.
Good point.
All right. Jordan, have you played any other games?
I've been playing Fallout 76, the beta.
I want to hear
the
all
release
about
week.
this.
Yeah, I pre-ordered
I'm
it,
so excited.
and I'm regretting it. So
What a weird fucking game. So the way I've described this game, it feels like a really impressive Fallout 4 mod. You can imagine this being an article in PC Gamer where they're like, by the way, guys, this awesome mod is just released, and these two guys in Bristol have been working on it for 5 years, and it kind of shoehorns multiplayer into Fallout 4. But because they've done that, they've need because they couldn't record any dialogue, they've had to take out all the NPCs. Kind of feels like that. Looks very, very similar to Fallout 4. Haven't really made any graphical improvements. I don't know whether it's just nostalgia, but for me, it doesn't look as good as Fallout 4, and I'm not sure. Maybe that's just because it's obviously online and there's some kind of technical limitation there. I think it's just the level of polish and kind of the world design isn't up there with Fallout 4. They worked on that game for a long, long time.
well,
and I imagine
worse
this
than
one
Fallout 4. Whoa. There's less,
Fallout 4 looks good,
less
Ben.
polish than Fallout 4.
Fallout 4 is very polished. It's just very wide and very expansive.
Great thing is though, if there's no NPCs, then the subtitles can't get stuck on your screen for hours on end.
Well, it's also a
Need to get
Bethesda
good.
game, so more than half of the game is developed by the users. So you have to, you got to be patient. You got to wait for other people to get fed up with something.
Yeah, that'll be interesting with this one because with it being online, I'm not sure if they can allow mods. But you're right, yeah, that's been kind of key since Skyrim. They've really encouraged kind of mod participation. But yeah, it just plays like Fallout 4, except there's like 10 other people running around. There's no real NPCs in the environment. There's some robots. You get sick really quick of the amount of audio diaries. I'm pretty sick of audio diaries as a narrative device in games, full stop, let alone in this one where, because there's nobody about, it's just audio diaries everywhere. So like the administrator of the vault that you've left, you kind of your main quest at least at the start is kind of trailing that person, trying to find them, and like you get an initial waypoint and you go to this base, and she's already left an audiobook in the vault, and then she leaves another audiobook at the base, which tells you to go to another village. In that village, she's left an audiobook. So you can see where this is going. You're kind of a step behind them, and it's just these kind of audio logs. There's a lot of crafting and stuff in this game, and kind of base building, which is, again, was present in Fallout 4. The crafting, not so much. That's kind of new. The shooting stuff works exactly the same. I think time hasn't been kind to it. With Fallout 4, it was really impressive because Fallout 3 was so bad with the gunplay. Fallout 4 felt decent. I think, a few years on, it feels really kind of shoddy. And I think I was talking to you about this, Ben. When you're releasing a kind of MMO-esque online shooter RPG game, you're going to get compared to Destiny, you're going to get compared to Division. The gunplay is nowhere near that. It is just a Fallout 4 gunplay. I didn't really get into any kind of skirmishes with other players. The game doesn't really seem to emphasize that stuff.
That's
I'm not
good.
sure if
I've heard that you both have to hit each other to engage in PvP. Is that right?
I don't know because I didn't really get into it, but it definitely doesn't seem to be funneling you down that way. I'm not sure whether in the end game kind of stuff there'll be some other mode where it's like, okay, yeah, you just get to fight, but the whole setup is that you guys should be getting on with each other. You've all come from the same vault.
Good.
You're just going about your business, kind of trying to set up humanity again.
I'm glad. I'm interested.
And it's kind of cooperative. You do events together and that kind of stuff.
I was thinking I'd love to play this as like a role-playing game where I would quite happy, just be a merchant. I don't go and shoot. I don't go and do all that. I can, I can like, get, I don't know, stuff from, what do I think? How to say it? But I want to play as like a merchant because there's no NPC merchant, so I can be one and I can collect all the resources and sell it to people and get other resources from other people and just travel around. Is that something that they would kind of promote? Or
potentially it'll be interesting to see how they, this is a big map. It's like 4 times the size of Fallout 4, which is a big map anyway. So there's a lot to explore. And then I don't know the exact player count per server, but it's in the teens. I don't think it's any more than 20. I think it's quite a bit less than that actually. When I played it, obviously playing a beta, tended to be that people were fairly low level, so you're kind of doing the same kind of stuff. It'll be interesting. I think what I'm really interested with this game is to see what it's like in a month's time. When people have worked out the meta game and people have advanced, and whether or not the game succeeds or whether it crashes and it doesn't sell all that well, it'll just be interesting to see where that meta lands and what Bethesda have done to make an RPG like this kind of worth kind of grinding for and playing for in an end game scenario. Maybe they just haven't accounted for that. Maybe it is just a case of, you get to the end of the game and you're done. I would imagine they've at least tried to make this an evergreen game that people want to come back to and play quite a lot. And I'm really not sure how they've done that outside of maybe, there's some really kind of rare armor sets or gun sets and stuff, or maybe there's some stuff that I just haven't considered. I don't know whether, let's say for instance, you're high level, would you potentially encounter people that have literally just started the game? And in that instance, what you're talking about could actually work. You could sell things to those people because the stuff that you have assumedly is a lot more valuable than what they can achieve. You could assist them. I think what's interesting to me is kind of waiting for people to leave the vault and then guiding them through the initial stages. I think that would be really cool as well. But for all I know, there might be reasons why you can't do that. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting as fuck to see what happens with this game over the next couple of months. Like, this is a big IP. This is Fallout. This is essentially Fallout Online, even though it isn't, on the scale of like Elder Scrolls Online. But even though it isn't on the same scale as Elder Scrolls Online, this game is closer to Fallout than Elder Scrolls is to Elder Scrolls, if that makes sense. Elder Scrolls Online is very much a kind of a World of Warcraft, skin. This is Fallout, but it happens to be online. And that's really fucking interesting, but probably really broken as well.
Yeah.
They don't have VATS in it, do they? They can't.
Sorry?
They don't have VATS in it, do they? They can't.
They do, but it doesn't work in the same way. So obviously it doesn't slow down time because everybody's in a kind of simultaneous server. So it works in the same way in terms of you just press a button, it'll auto target to an enemy. And essentially the way that it works, instead of slowing down time, it'll just attribute a percentage hit chance. And depending on how close you are to that person and assumedly what your aim skill is and maybe your health and stuff like that, it'll give you a percentage. So it could be, if you're close to that person and you've got a good aim, you're going to get like 100% and you're going to hit that person every time without having to manually aim. So it isn't as useful because obviously it was really useful in kind of the 3D Fallout games for just slowing down time and kind of working out what you're wanting to do and then maybe making some headshots. In this one, as far as I can tell, you don't target body parts. That might change. Maybe that's a skill that you get. But the way that I played it, it was just a case of pressing a button and it just generally locked at an enemy and gave me a percentage as to whether if I click that fire button, I'm going to hit it.
Is it humorous at all? Like, because like my favorite part of like Fallout 3 was how funny like I found it. And
did you play 4?
I started 4, but like I never got super invested into it.
Yeah, so it's similar in tone to 3 and 4. For me, like I absolutely adored 3, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, same here.
I had a really fucking good time with 4. I put 100 hours into it, but it did leave me cold. Probably told this story dozens of times on this podcast, but 4 for me. Pardon?
Never mind.
So like Fallout 4 for me, like it was great because it was a really big graphical upgrade. Mechanically, it was really strong. They fixed the gunplay, but they really focused heavily on the combat stuff. Instead of giving you loads of options for how you treat scenarios, and you might not have to fight people at all. Whereas in Fallout 4, it was just a case of you're going to shoot people because you've made a good combat engine. So it left me cold for that. But also, I kind of got sick of the humorous tone and just the whole conceit of what Fallout is. Just stuck in this kind of, what is it, like 50s nostalgia piece. I kind of OD'd on that and kind of felt like from reading about people that played Fallout 1 and 2, kind of want them to go back to a bit of a kind of a darker dystopian tone. But it totally doesn't do that. It's very much Fallout 3, Fallout 4. Like, if you like that humor, it's definitely there.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like they got like, as far as like the whole new like 3D Fallout series, I feel like they got licenses for music like Billie Holiday and all that, and they were like, well, we got to stick with that now because that's a really expensive license. We can't just let that expire. So they just kind of went with the 1950s thing. But I think that would be baller if they like
Yeah.
moved up to the 70s or so, started getting some disco up in there, I would be 110% on board with that. Find like, you know, dilapidated like discos and roller skating rinks. Find some
It
bell
would
bottom.
work story-wise, but
There was
Could be a
wait,
DLC.
what was the
Funny
what was the
Yeah, but
unnecessary
what's-
scare in the 70s?
didn't like the civilization die in the 50s? Isn't that the whole problem?
Doesn't Fallout 3 take place like around the same time where Mass Effect would have taken place? Isn't that like a thing? Like 200 years in the future? Yeah, I'm so sure. I'm about to look this up.
We're gonna get a Fallout.
That's a
Mass
YouTube
Effect.
video if I've ever seen
Report
one.
back. Report back. I want to know. I want to know this.
So yeah,
Let's keep
like
going.
I'm looking forward
my
to it.
gut feeling is that this game will crash and burn. I don't, you know, if you look at how entitled the gaming community is right now and how quick
Really?
they are to jump all over anything that Bethesda does, you know, and
Really?
especially online games.
Or like
I
jump
just
all
don't-
over
I
it
just,
and grab it and enjoy it, or because I see a
no,
lot of people
to-
saying
to
that it's gonna be
fucking
great.
criticize and
Really?
yeah, like I think the community, at least initially, the community will probably ravage it. I think you're already seeing it, and probably rightly so. Like, you know, like I said, I came out anecdotally just saying, "Oh, it feels like a mod," and then literally the next day, I see this really informative Reddit post where they're like, "Yeah, we've had a look at the online architecture of this. There are no controls, so they've basically taken the Fallout 4 mold and kind of injected online into it, but haven't accounted for like." You know, I don't really understand the technicalities of this, but essentially, a lot of the server stuff is relying on information that your PC is sending them. So you can just use something like Cheat Engine and just start fucking around with the way that game works, and that's going to influence other people's worlds as well, which is terrible for a game like this. You really can't do that, and that's when I go back to that comparison of like Destiny and Division, where you can't imagine anything like that happening. You know, the people that are hacking those games are just really fucking good at what they do, and you know that's kind of a little cold war between them and the developer. If it's a case of this game just isn't locked down at all and they haven't taken the right steps to protect it from hackers and stuff, the PC market is just going to implode on it because it just won't work. The economy won't work, and you know you'll just be getting shot from a mile away by somebody that's not even aiming at you and all that kind of shit, which will ruin it. Obviously, console that doesn't work that way, but certainly for the PC base.
Are you playing it on PC?
Yeah, yeah.
I
imagine Fallout 4 didn't run very well on console.
Yeah.
This is clearly going to be more taxing because you've got multiple people running around. I wouldn't trust this on a console, to be honest.
I'd hope on PC that there'd be a way for you to get private servers, and especially having a stream with such a really good community as I do, having like my own private server and having people in the chat joining it would be much more fun, and you'd be happy to you'd be welcome to join, Jordan. And
I'd get down with that absolutely if I can play with a bunch of smartasses that I know instead of smartasses who are also assholes.
My guess would be that.
Yeah, I love it.
My guess would be that that's where the game will end up. Like I said, I think it's going to fall on its face in the early stages. Potentially recover if Bethesda have made some really smart moves for that end game stuff. It could well be that, you know, it falls on his face initially, and then, you know, after a month or so, people who are digging into the end game and really enjoying it start to build up a bit of a rep for the game.
So there is a story here?
Yeah, full-on story.
Oh, is there actually a full-on story? I didn't know that. I thought it was make your own story.
It's a full-on Fallout story, except you don't get to speak to anybody. You just listen to fucking audio files.
All right, guys, I found it.
This is like just not rest with a story.
It's also it's just reading a story. But you don't have to, like an audiobook.
Yeah, kind of like an audiobook.
Mass Effect takes place in 2183, and Fallout 3 takes place in 2277. So technically, Fallout 3 takes place like 100. Like I know they're not on the same timeline, but like
what about Andromeda?
Andromeda takes place 600 years after Mass Effect 1.
It's like 100 years away from Star Trek as well. Why does this matter?
Oh,
I mean, I feel like we're starting to write a really good fanfic right now.
Yeah.
We keep rolling with this.
Miranda, you can do what you want.
Andromeda
also,
2.
just so that joke didn't land flat earlier when I said, Jordan said, "Oh yeah, I just spent 100 hours with it and it left me cold." I said, "That's what your wife said about you too."
Oh, I missed that. I would have laughed.
I did, yeah. I wasn't concentrating then. Nobody heard it. Oh. But I'm glad
I know.
I'm glad
I didn't even feel like repeating it.
I bet you'd be so proud.
Except for right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine what kind of joke that was.
So, Anybody else played any other? Oh, I played more WWE 2K
we don't
19. I've got.
And that
You
concludes the
haven't
podcast.
played
everybody.
1 minute, then.
Had some great glitches. What happened today? What happened today, Melum? You were watching. Something happened. I can't remember. Oh yeah, ladder matches keep happening.
Looked at a ladder.
Yeah, they just stared.
For
They
10 seconds.
they touched the ladder each side of it and just stared at it. As Astral in the chat said, I want to find a man who looks at me like Rosie Rabbit looked at that ladder. She just stood there for like 30 seconds, didn't climb it, just went and stared at it, and then lost.
But have you really played any of it, Mel?
Nope. Oh well, if playing 180 hours counts, I've played that, but I actually haven't.
Yeah, but you haven't played.
Just because.
I haven't pressing play.
Yeah, I've not played a single match. When season 1 finishes, which will probably be like early January, I'm gonna play my career mode. I made a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, the people who made. Speaking of jokes making, yeah, I made a joke on Twitter, and the guy who does the voice for the My Player character liked it. But I made a joke on Twitter about how you can reroute the controller, and I implied that you can stick a controller when you're playing Tetris. You can stick another controller up your ass to enjoy the vibrations. And the developers of the game liked it. it wasn't as as blatant as that, but they knew what.
They've got that in development. That's why they liked it.
Yeah, just imagine. No, I won't imagine that. I played. I mean, just a couple of games very, very briefly. Mate. I played Jackbox 5, which is pretty much it's great. There's always whenever they release a Jackbox, there's always one game that is really good, and the rest are kind of meh. This one doesn't have a really good game, but it has a good one called it's the rapping one where you make raps and rap lines, and then robots read them out. They can be really, really good fun. But yeah, Jackbox is great, but this one feels a bit worse. Like Jackbox 4, there's a game called Survive the Internet, which just made that really good. Then Jackbox 3 obviously has some really good ones, including Quiplash 2. I think they need another Quiplash. It would have been great if this would have been much better, because there isn't one of those type of games apart from maybe the rapping where you're kind of adding loads of your own ideas. There's one where you get you're presenting an invention or something, and that can be kind of fun, but yeah, it's okay. It just doesn't grab me. There isn't a game in this where I really want to play. I could play like a whole night, whereas with Quiplash and Survive the Internet, I could have played 10-15 games of that and been laughing from start to finish. And finally, speaking of games laughing from start to finish, Gang Beasts, played a lot of that last night when I was very drunk. Really good fun. Controls still broken. No idea how to knock people out, although everyone who we face against who isn't like part of my stream was just like knocking me out straight away. But it's great. So much fun.
Have you played Nidhogg? I know. Oh,
Nidhogg, no. What do you say?
I think you'd really love Nidhogg. Nidhogg is great.
Well,
I'm all about it.
Spell that for me. What's it called?
Nidhogg.
Nidhogg. It's
Okay.
like it's something
It's
similar
a
to
fencing thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Nidhogg 2 came out as
I
well.
did the first one. Yeah, Nidhogg 2 came out. And I think you'd really like that, Ben, because that is like a very quick, funny, like back and forth between you and a player. It's a very you game, Ben, I
I've
think.
seen this, and I think I was kind of tempted to buy it, and it's not very expensive, so maybe in the future I will look at
It's a
that.
fun game. What's the name? You're a whale with
Oh, the
Oh,
horn.
the narwhal.
yeah.
A narwhal.
Oh.
It's called a narwhal.
A whale with it's the
What was
unicorn
this?
of the
What
sea.
was this, Mel?
The dick.
You have you have the things.
Was
So-
the hentai game I played the other day? Can't remember the name.
So
I don't remember much.
Andre accidentally dunked on Ben there because you apparently like things quick and funny, Ben.
I do love things that are quick and funny. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. My
Okay.
love life.
Bit of trivia for you. The Nidhogg is the big snake thing in God of War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not.
That's,
not?
that's
It's
the
not.
Midgar Storm, isn't it?
The world. What's he called?
The
Nidhogg.
world snake.
Yeah, the world snake is not Nidhogg. There
Is
you
it
go.
not?
No,
Oh,
they had a
I
talk.
remember. Yeah, it's,
What is? I thought it was from Norse mythology, Nidhogg. So surely it's a big snake. Was
yeah,
there
but
another big snake?
It's a
then?
different big snake, I think. They love their big snakes in
I'll
Norway.
look this up.
Doesn't
They
matter.
do like
Yeah,
to
Wikipedia.
up there in Scandinavia.
Melum's yeah, they love their massive snakes.
Yeah.
Speaking of massive snakes, what have you been playing with this?
It's a dragon, apparently.
With Nidhogg. You faced Nidhogg in Final Fantasy 14 as well. It's a real bastard.
The dragon from Norse mythology, so...
I'm going to say it's the snake in God.
But it's not.
No, it's a dragon.
Because the world is the world eater or the world serpent. Yeah, the world serpent.
Yeah, different name.
No, it's not.
Mythology in it.
World serpent or Nidhogg. You know the world serpent is Jörmungandr.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Melon, we need you to pronounce that. Because I think
Jörmungandr. Hello.
What is it called?
I put it in the the world snake, which is
Nidhogg.
Midgard serpent. The Midgard world serpent.
Midgarstorm.
Well, we've got the perfect people in chat too, and on here to confirm. Nidhogg and Jörmungandr is different.
Bollocks.
There we are.
Jörmungandr.
That's what I said.
Pardon?
Nice. I'm wet. Now.
Jörmungandr.
Do it again.
That's the world serpent. There you are. But Nidhogg, I wonder if you face Nidhogg. I bet Nidhogg's going to be like a future boss. The world serpent in God of War is awesome. I love going inside it. It's usually the other way around. Yeah. All right. Any other games people want to talk about?
I've been playing Warframe a lot lately.
Oh, Warframe
just came out with an update. Speaking of evergreen online games, like they always manage to pull my ass back in there. And I do get really bored really fast with MMOs because I hate people. I hate y'all.
Period.
Every single one of y'all.
The Warframe.
But Warframe, they just recently came out with an update where about a year ago, they released like this big like open world on Earth where you can just kind of like run around and fight monsters and fish and go mining and stuff. And this most recent update, they added an additional world on Venus, I want to say, one of the planets in the solar system, and it's turning out to be very, very nice. So I'm sorry, Astra, I hate all of y'all, every single one of y'all. It's not just you. I just wanted to clarify. So yeah.
And how is it?
Free to play.
Yeah. Does it feel grindy at all?
Oh, it should be called War Farm because you have to farm so much, and the RNGs for that game are so unkind. They're so unkind, at least to me. So, and I like grindy sort of farmy games because they let me kind of like zone out and I don't have to think about anything while I'm doing it. So if that's obviously not for everyone. But if it is your jam, Warframe actually, despite it being free to play, it's actually the developers sort of treat it like a AAA. So they keep adding. It's beautiful. It's got I'm really surprised at how good the story is. But because of how beautiful and sort of expansive the world is, it is a big game. So most people who like can't afford to play games and they want to play a free to play game, usually this can't like fit comfortably on their computer. So I feel like that's kind of a dilemma that they need to solve.
I watched some gameplay of it. There was a guy who was he was actually playing wrestling, and I watched him, and then he suddenly switched over to Warframe because he was getting sponsored by the guys that made it, and it looks really good fun. But he was getting sponsored by it. He was going, I don't know half these controls. It's just so I'm playing this on a keyboard and I've got press this button and it does this, and I've no idea. I'm trying to hit this thing in the air, but I can't jump. I don't even know what the jump button is. And he was getting a bit annoyed by the controls. But maybe
Warframe does an awful job of explaining itself. Like you need to be patient with that game. So if you're not patient, don't bother. You're gonna be real sad for a really long time if you try to do that. Or get like a tour guide like I did.
Mm-hmm. Warframe is what I wish Destiny would have been. Oh yeah, Warframe is what I wished Destiny would have been from the beginning, because I think Warframe is incredible. I mean, I've only played it for like 6 hours, and like I've gotten so much out of it already.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't understand like 90% of the menus I'm navigating. I'm just like, oh, just keep going. and I find it controls so fucking fluidly. You're jumping around, hitting people with swords and shooting guns, and I mean, I have it on Xbox One, and I have like, I mean, besides the fact that I don't understand what I'm doing most of the time, I have so much fun with it when I play it.
It makes you feel like a badass when you're playing.
Yeah, yeah. It makes me like, wow, I'm just like a fucking crazy swordsman / gun
Space
person.
ninja.
Exactly.
Spray in the chat makes. I actually was going to mention this because when we're talking about private servers and with Fallout and that, Ark. Everyone's playing Ark because an expansion came out and it looks.
Yeah.
The graphics look crap. Am I the only person that looks at that and thinks that's kind of? It's like Final Fantasy 14 style graphics where there's no real depth to anything I'm looking at.
It's a survival game, so it's all of them look like shit.
They do, yeah. Give me a Red Dead Redemption style. Yeah, give me a survival mode in Red Dead. That'll be great.
That'd be cool.
Well, it kind of is, but it's
Yeah.
not a survival game.
Oh God, that game's so good.
I think Ark is best played with other people that you know.
Yeah.
But if like that game is also very, very unkind to computers. So like it's difficult to get everybody like in a good performance place where you can all get on the same server without incident, and you can all like, you know, they have like a competitive mode where you can get 2 groups of people and you can like fight each other, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. I mean, it's a nice thought.
Yeah.
But
I want a good survival game.
You play and you make a castle or a fortress with your friends, and then you log off, and then some other gang logs on and destroys your fortress.
Basically, that's basically what happens.
And makes their own, and then you log on and fix your own and destroy them.
Sounds terrible.
And then there it goes.
Sounds crap.
But what they really wanted was like real life wars and stuff, but that's so rare. You never see it.
I think I'll avoid it. When are they going to make a really good survival game? I played Conan. God, that was a waste of money and time. I just ran around.
Yeah, but that also is a really good game compared to Ark. But it's
compared to Ark, wow,
nothing happened. It's just
isn't Subnautica a survival game? Like you can go into survival mode. I might play that.
Yeah. Is it multiplayer?
I don't think it's multiplayer, but it's
very much
the whole game is about surviving the sea and expanding how far you can dive.
Yeah, and you got to eat and drink and all that.
But you can choose actually. You can, when you start it, it'll say, do you want it with like food and drink and all that. Mr. Scott says Subnautica is like No Man's Sky underwater. No Man's Sky, that's a game I've not thought about for ages. I keep getting really close. I keep getting really close to playing more Elite Dangerous. That's such a great, relaxing.
Don't do it.
Why?
Wait, do you do open play or do you do like?
I don't do any PvP. I purely go around and I think it's private play. Is that PvE?
Yeah. PvE, yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
I first started doing, when I started doing Twitch again, almost a year ago, I started with Elite Dangerous, and the community in PvP is so awful. It's so awful. Like I would always play PvE, and I would have these PvP people coming up in my chat and like making fun of me for doing PvE. And they only did that because they were mad that they couldn't gank me. And they just like, that's all they did was just harass me about that. And it's just like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was only old dudes that played it.
Yeah, it's so kind of like, it's kind of an older person game as Elite Dangerous. Spray in the chat says, a game I really loved was Banished, but once you crack the way to play it, you can delete it and never play it again. Yeah.
I started to play the Undertale Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
But then I had to play some Red Dead again. So I started, I played for like half an hour. I still have no idea what it is, but if you play Undertale, it's really going to give you some good vibes.
Need to play Undertale.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it until next time, so I will know more. But because I have no idea what it is right now, but It looks amazing and it has a great sound score.
Good. I need to play Undertale, and I will. Mr. Scott says, what PvP community isn't toxic? That is a good question.
I was just trying to think.
Maybe
I cannot come up with one, honestly.
I mean, I've never had toxicity in PvP when it comes to Destiny.
I just mute everybody.
Is Destiny actually PvP though? Or is it everybody doing PvE?
Oh, you can have PvP.
It's PvP arenas.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, if you count that, then Warframe actually has a really positive community. I was actually really surprised because there's a really interesting story thing that happens, and it's so spoilery, and it changes the direction of the game. And I didn't hear shit about that. Everybody was keeping that shit under wraps, and they must have like been talking about that in a different chat channel or something. But like, I didn't catch wind of any of that until like the story thing happened. So I thought that was really interesting that they're all kind of like trying to make the experience for new players the same way that they experienced it. So I feel like that's the least toxic community that I can think of.
I remember when I first played, what's it called? Like Rainbow Six, it was fine. And then all of a sudden it just changed into the like ridiculously toxic community. I don't know if it's just me being lucky for the first 20, 30 hours that I played, but yeah, now it's shocking on there. But yeah, as long as you mute it.
But to be clear, all PvP communities is toxic because it's a reflection of
gamers
on humans. So
and the worst type of humans.
It has nothing to do with the game. It's just we are humans and we are rubbish.
Gamers, the worst of society. Gamers. All right, is it news time?
Oh, yeah.
News time. Click play news. What's been in the news this week? Speaking of Spice Girls, Dave's going to see the Spice Girls next year.
Oh my God, can he get any more gay?
He's like, do you want to
rein it in?
Like, nope.
He's
no.
the gayest gay ever did gay.
Oh, the amount of people on my like Facebook and everything like, I'm going to see the Spice Girls and see the Spice Girls. Like, let me know when they release a good song.
Oh.
Dang.
Have they ever released a song that I would happily listen to right now? No.
Viva Forever.
That's probably their best one. Because it doesn't sound like them.
I mean,
it's not their type of, it's not their style.
Let's do the news.
Okay. RTX cards are, what is he showing? RTX card. Yeah.
That's
it's not one of those.
Fun view.
RTX cards are dying all around, and Nvidia are denying anything is wrong, says Mr. Scorps. Have you got yourself an RTX 1080 Ti, Jordan?
No.
RTX, there's so many cars that has been prolonged release, so there's definitely something wrong.
Mirta in the chat, he's got one.
Nvidia is trying to do something.
So which cards are dying? Is this
the new ones?
RTX.
It's like the GTX, but the RTX.
2020
they've moved from GTX to RTX.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's about ray tracing. Who is a man from Kansas?
Follow, old man.
It's been GTX for years, isn't it?
Ray, hello, Mr. Ray tracing.
That's the argument.
That's annoying.
Yeah. Mirta says, I love the RTX for Minecraft. You've just been playing it on, but your Fortnite frames per second must be amazing. Yeah, the 2080.
I'm not upgrading my PC until there's new consoles out or Cyberpunk is out, and I'm going to spec it to 4K 60 for Cyberpunk.
It's got 2080 and 2080 Ti's are dying. They've got.
Just ignore that then, yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, great. Have artifacts, and they have problems in the BIOS and locked clocks. There you go.
All right, Ben.
What were we saying about Cyberpunk?
Fuck off.
Go on, Jordan. Tell us what's in the news.
Nintendo's hiring for a new Legend of Zelda game.
There's a surprise.
Yeah, I also heard that they're ramping up for some more DLC for the first-party stuff like Zelda and Mario and things. So I don't know if there's confusion between them ramping up for a new Zelda game and some DLC stuff, but I'd be up for a new Zelda game. And you've got to assume that they're making one.
Oh, yeah. I've heard as
Why?
well that people think there might be DLC because if you get every single, including the DLC or something, if you get and complete everything, you're like missing one piece of the heart or whatever.
Oh, deep man.
So they think, ooh.
He goes all the way to the top.
So my dream is that they combine Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker, and we get like a game that's in Breath of the Wild engine, but the world is like an ocean, and you just sail to different islands with different climbing challenges. Stuff like that.
I want that.
Wind of the Wild. Wind of the Wild would be a great name.
Why is that? Did somebody just like gag and throw up? I'm trying to figure out what these noises are.
They came.
But I wonder, am I the only one that doesn't like Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
Yes.
I've never
Yes.
played, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, sure.
You're the only wrong one. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you match
I'm
Breath of
kidding.
the Wild though with islands?
That was Wind Waker. As far as I can, I'm
Yeah.
not sure about.
But like with the
Breath of
kind of
the Wild
graphics and that kind of gameplay. If they do bring a new one
What?
out, do you think there will be weapon degradation?
Hopefully not, because that was the worst thing about the last one.
Oh my god, you just played it wrong.
Nope, I tell you right.
You only
worst
had
part
three.
about-
You
the
had
worst part
three
about
weapons
Breath of
left
the
in
Wild
there.
is that the environment is just dead. It's nothing in there.
What?
So much. It's like endless.
Compared
No,
to Red Dead,
it's-
different. Yeah, compared to Red Dead, where there's a little animal running in front of you every few
Of course,
seconds.
any game is sucked next to Red Dead. But
Yeah, but at least Zelda controls nicely. So next bit of news.
Actually, with just come back to that. That would be, I would say maybe one little bit of criticism with Red Dead Redemption.
You're allowed to criticize it, Ben.
Criticize
feel
Red
like-
Dead, man.
There is
Do it.
so much going on. I was trying to go across a field or somewhere, and like literally in front of me there were animals everywhere. It just didn't feel very realistic. It was just like they were constantly got things, thrown in my face. There was a little rabbit, then there was a deer, and then there was something else. It's just animal after animal after animal.
That's probably an anomaly. I think, if we're talking about criticizing it, one of the things I would say they do really well at is the anti-Ubisoft, whereas Ubisoft can't stand to let you not see something moving for 5 seconds. Red Dead seems perfectly happy for you to just not see anything for a long period of time. So I imagine that was just a one-off. Like I didn't have any instances where there were too many rabbits and deers and shit running around. I think the game's quite reserved in that way, which is good.
Mr. Scorps is grumpy in the
I
chat.
just
Oh, yeah.
choose to believe that there actually was animals in the forest before we
Destroyed
destroyed every animal we saw.
Mr. Scorps says, I can't accept the concept of buying a €300 console, the Switch, just for one game. What else is there on the Switch?
Galaxy,
Yeah.
Smash Brothers, Mario Kart,
Celeste.
Celeste. I mean, Celeste plays the best on the Switch, in my opinion. Just
Yeah, me
because
too.
it's so fucking cute.
Fucking shitloads of games that are on PC and consoles already, but now it's handheld.
Bayonetta 2,
What's the second game of Limbo?
Inside.
Yeah, that got released.
Is Inside on it?
Yeah.
I think they just had no.
Yeah, I think they did. It was just dropped randomly. Or Inside definitely did. Pokemon's coming out. Yeah.
'Cause Inside is a perfect game for it, at least.
Yeah, but the
It's
Switch
worth it.
has got some great games.
Yeah, agreed. So next bit of news. So I think one of the only people to actually fucking bother watching the XO18 show yesterday.
Oh yeah, thank you for the
Microsoft.
commentary.
Like,
I was
so-
reading out to everyone in the chat.
But yeah, they did like this 2-hour kind of really a conference, but just like people who were too cool for their own good, just sitting around pretending like they knew what they were talking about.
Like this. Like this podcast.
Basically, this podcast.
So they announced some games. They did this thing which I really hate about Microsoft at the moment, where they talk about a first party game and then they pseudo announce that it's coming to Game Pass. That is what Game Pass is. Like, that's why you pay for Game Pass, is so that Xbox first party games will be guaranteed to come to a day one. That is why you're paying your £10 a month. Stop fucking announcing it. And all these idiots in Mexico cheer when they announce it. It's like, no, those games were always coming to Game Pass. That's the deal. If Halo was to come out and they were like, yeah, it's not on Game Pass straight away, I'd be really pissed off, because that is literally what you're paying for. Agreed.
So plus of
Every
Halo
game
news.
coming to Game Pass now?
Every first party
Yeah.
Xbox game is part of Game Pass, yeah.
And as with every
And
single
also for PC.
yeah, that's
But
coming out.
if
Isn't
there's
it?
a PC version, yeah.
Isn't the PC version coming out? It's been announced.
Of what?
There's a PC version of Game Pass coming out.
There already is.
It is.
Again, this is just fucking 1984 shit from Microsoft, like announcing that Game Pass is coming to. It's already on PC. If you
It's
got Game Pass,
really
you can...
weird. Oh, I think I've got 2 Game Pass subscriptions because I had 2 emails.
Forza, for instance, like there's a PC version of Forza, so therefore, if you've got Game Pass, you can play it on PC. So therefore, Game Pass is already on PC. There's nothing to announce.
And don't forget, because this was a conference, it was a video game conference, we had to have another Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer.
The Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer with a really cool song, which you've heard 1,000 times if
I
you
played it.
watched
I
it.
played it on my stream. Everyone enjoyed your singing, Jordan. Oh.
Yeah, really good. Anyway, the news I was going to talk about is the kind of final bit of news that they kind of landed with as their big announcement was that they've bought Obsidian Games, who are kind of big hitters in the RPG space. I felt like we knew this, but it's one of those things where Kotaku spoilt it a month ago. Yeah, they confirmed that, and also In Exile, who are the guys that make Wasteland. So 2 big Western RPG developers who I would imagine will be working in tandem on a singular game. Obsidian made Fallout New Vegas and loads of other cool Western RPGs. So that's exciting. Like if you look at Xbox's studio portfolio right now, it's fucking huge. But you're gonna need to wait 5 years for any games, unfortunately. And by then there probably won't be an Xbox.
And they won't be any good.
And another bit of depressing news. Well, I don't know if it's depressing or not really.
Crackdown has a release date.
Crackdown has no release date. All right, so in terms of the Xbox thing, so it wasn't just Obsidian stuff. PlayerUnknown Battleground is coming to Game Pass. You might be interested in knowing that. They showed another trailer where it looks like that game runs really nicely, but we all know that it doesn't.
It does not.
Like those trailers, they make it look so slick. Like it doesn't run no PC, let alone Xbox. You liars. What other news? I would have sent it to you. Is there anything else that took your fancy that I sent?
Crackdown.
Crackdown's coming out on February 15th.
I will be waiting with anticipation. No, I don't give a damn about that. I'm more looking forward to Just Cause.
Hey, read that.
Yeah, I'll hopefully finish it by then. Yeah, you ranted on about State of Decay DLC.
Yeah, so they were talking about State of Decay and Sea of Thieves as if like these were these big phenomenons. Like, you know, everybody was fucking playing. They talked about them like they were Minecraft, and it's like no one fucking playing this game. Like it was shit. Both of them was shit. You need to go back to the drawing board.
Winnie the Pooh confirmed for Kingdom Hearts.
Yes,
and they played this song. Beautiful, Jordan.
Happening in my headphones.
Winnie the Pooh.
Then they were still banging on about Kingdom Hearts, and then they said that Final Fantasy 13 games come into backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
and
which
it's
again,
Spawn.
like, shoot yourself. Those games are fucking terrible, like really bad. Like I could forgive you if you kind of like 13. The other 2 are just absolute tripe.
Oh yeah, there were 2 more after that. Lightning Returns was like the last one, right?
Yeah, terrible.
Wasn't Final Fantasy 15 supposed to be one of those sequels? Or it started off as that.
Yeah.
13 verses, isn't it?
Yeah, and also you said Final Fantasy games that were announced for Switch are also coming to Xbox, so you can play Final Fantasy 7 on an Xbox.
Imagine was already confirmed, like as much as Nintendo were the guys to announce that first at their direct. I'm guessing that the actual, if we looked at the PR stuff from Square, they probably talked about Xbox as well. So you'd be playing Final Fantasy 7 on an Xbox at some point next year, which is pretty disgusting. I think.
I'll play on the Switch.
Yeah, better on the Switch. They did the Xbox thing in Mexico. There's going to be a Sea of Thieves arena competitive mode because that's what people loved in Sea of Thieves was the competitive part of it. Did they say that they're going to? Sorry, Fighter. Yeah.
I was going to say I'm really, really glad that I didn't succumb to peer pressure and get Sea of Thieves because that does not at all look interesting to me in any way, shape, or form.
I'm really kind of...
Is it anything new in it now?
I'm really itching. Yeah, they added some DLC, but it's free DLC.
What's the DLC?
Like a new area where you go in some volcanic islands. We should go and get the Game Pass, Mel, and we'll play it. We can be merry
Game Pass is
seamen.
$1 if you get it today.
I'm getting Game Pass. What game are we waiting for from Xbox?
Crackdown.
Actually, Ori 2.
Forza Horizon.
But I can get that on PlayStation, can't I?
Forza Horizon. Melon? We can go driving.
No.
No. I
What did you ask for PlayStation? Sorry.
Ori.
Oh,
No,
Ori's
no.
Xbox. Yeah.
But yeah, the Jump Force game.
God,
Is that the manga game?
Yeah, that's the anime game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get the Game Pass this year at least, man.
Oh, I'll play. I'll
But
just
it's
be a
$1.
solo seaman, going around, exploring.
But I think it's
islands.
a really nice thing. It's starting like I want the Netflix for a game, so it's a beginning.
Let me tell you about the Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh God,
You can play classic games like Dodgeball for the NES, and that's about it.
oh.
I unsubscribed to that as soon as I could. I
hated
it.
You can eventually Smash. I have to pay them for it.
I'm gonna pay it once Smash comes out, but until then, I'm not ever fucking. Oh God, they're so pointless.
The only console, the only platform that I play online on is the Switch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just wait till Red Dead Online comes out. Oh no, you're on Xbox, aren't you? With
Xbox, yeah.
Are you on Xbox? Is it crossplay?
no.
Absolutely not.
We can never hunt together.
Oh, we
Rockstar
can,
could
Mel.
probably pull some strings. Be like, hey
Yeah.
guys,
You're never gonna finish it, Ben, so it doesn't matter.
No.
Ben never finishes good games.
Hey, I finished. What was the last game I finished?
I can tell if a game is good if Ben hasn't played it or beat it yet.
Hey, I finished
you know.
episode. I finished Life is Strange. I even
Oh,
finished Before
never
the
mind
Storm.
Did you finish Assassin's Creed?
Oh no, that's boring. I liked it. I loved
Oh, I
it. And
liked
then I
it.
played Red Dead Redemption. Was like, oh, this is what a big open world game's meant to be like. I tried to like it, and it's fine. He got 7 out of 10 in Edge. Oh yeah, by the way, Red Dead Redemption 2 got a 10 out of 10 from Edge, which is their 20th 10 out of 10 in 25 years. They are.
Damn.
Yeah, that is really incredible. I think the last one they gave out was for Breath of the Wild.
Well earned.
Which
Mhm.
was a bad game.
So who are these people making those decisions? Like I'm always skeptical of anybody who says anything about a game because they're not me. Because only I can tell you what I like in games. Somebody else can't tell me what I like in games. So who are these people? Why should I
Edge.
give a shit?
They seem to be very.
The wrestler.
They're
Don't
not
give
rest-
a shit.
No, they're Edge. I respect their journalists. They have very. It's a video game magazine for adults, and it's aimed at people that can read and are not just going to go and read like the title and look at the score, which is exactly what I did. But you know, you can.
So they accommodate people like that, but if you want to go deeper, you can.
Yeah, they're very.
Shall I,
A lot of industry people read it. Sorry, yeah, John.
shall I read perfect 10 out of 10 scores from Edge?
Yeah, the perfect tenant. All
Yeah.
of them are going to be worth it, I'm sure.
Okay, so this is chronological order by the looks of it. Super Mario 64,
All right.
Gran Turismo, OG,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ocarina of Time.
What, Ocarina of Time?
What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is quite surprising. Halo Combat Evolved.
How is that surprising? That's a perfect game.
Lost credibility immediately right there. I don't need to hear anything else.
I loved OG Halo, but like I always assumed that people started to love it with the second one with the multiplayer and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
I guess from a FPS point of view, it was revolutionary. Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what they put
Half-Life-
they put their 10. Their 10 is revolutionary. So if a game is revolutionary, it gets a 10.
Overall, these have been, so think about it. Super Mario 64, Gran Turismo, Gran
Gran
Turismo,
Turismo, yeah.
Ocarina of Time, Halo, Half-Life 2, like that's absolutely. Halo 3. I love
I like
Halo 3.
Halo. Yeah, I like Halo 3.
Orange Box, that's just a value proposition, isn't it? So like,
Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy, I hear good things. I played
For
it.
sure.
Grand Theft Auto 4, agreed.
Sure.
Fuck you guys, Little Big Planet, yes.
Yeah,
Reference.
yeah, no, Little Big Planet, I like that.
You-
That was
you-
revolutionary. Little Big Planet
Just fucking-
karting was good as well. When you could make, was that the one you could make your own tracks?
Yes.
Mario Maker is better.
Mario Maker is a great game.
Bayonetta, fucking Lady Gaga with that fucking.
Yeah,
game.
She knows her
I hate it
games.
now.
Rock Band 3. Wait till you get the next one. Skyward Sword.
Really?
That is the one that whenever anybody brings up like the 10s that Edge have given, they always say, "Well, they gave Skyward Sword a 10." And then there's always a massive debate.
Not the Wii, so I think it's just people hate the console, don't they? Not the game. Assume the game is good. I really want to play all the 3D Zeldas I haven't played. The Last of Us. Yes, thank you. Best game ever played. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah,
for sure.
Revolutionary, definitely, I would say, especially with the online mode.
First dark one.
When they reviewed it, the online wouldn't have been there, and I just don't see how 5 is. If we're talking about revolutionary, I don't see how it's more revolutionary than 4. But whatever. Bayonetta
3
2.
characters.
It just needs to be, it just needs to be revolutionary. It doesn't need to be more.
10.
Bayonetta.
Wow.
2.
Never heard the next one. Bloodborne.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
I never heard of
It's
it.
a shitty game.
I heard it.
Is that the 30 FPS game?
10 out of 10. Suck my balls, Malum. Breath of the Wild. 10 out of 10, Malum. Fuck yeah! Best game in the world.
It's almost as bad as Snake Eater.
Oh god.
And then Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
Red Dead is non. I'll trust you, Ben.
Yeah, no, I've got it on here. They gave a 9 as well to Astrobot. I really need to check that out.
We're probably giving a lot of 9s, Ben. We can't go through that list.
I don't know. I don't see
think-
many 9s.
I think my thing with like ranking games and like listening to reviewers is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So as long as you like make your case really well, I still might not agree with you, but at least I can tell that they put the thought into it. And from what little I've seen from Edge, they at least have journalists who are like interested in legitimate critique. So
yeah.
I mean, everything needs to be taken with a grain of salt, but at the very least, they put that little extra effort into it.
Yeah, but I think when I read Edge, I feel it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same as any other magazine. You get a totally unique. Like I sometimes I have a proficiency class, and sometimes we go through some of their opinion columns in Edge magazine. I'm like, hey, look, we're going to look at this opinion piece because it's really well written, really interesting to read. And it's not just the same regurgitated crap that's going to be on GameSpot or IGN.
That's so important when it comes to journalism too.
Can we just also comment how great Jason Schreier is? Schreier.
He's all right.
Big up.
Big up to him. Shout out.
Big up to the big Jason. Last bit of news. So apparently they're still Jason. Apparently they're still making Final Fantasy 15 DLC. Well, not anymore.
That Jim Sterling impression there.
They've cancelled it all except for episode Arden. What drugs are these people on? Why are they still making Final Fantasy 15 DLC? Why wasn't that game complete?
I think they realized that, didn't they? They're like, why are we making this? Oh, and then one guy left, and then the main guy quit, and they cancelled the rest of the DLC.
They spent like 20 years making it. They might as well like wring as much money as they can out of everyone who's playing it.
Yeah, that's totally like what they're doing, and that game is brilliant despite itself. Like, it's a terrible Final Fantasy game, but as like a modern RPG, is kind of stellar in a way. But yeah, what I love about this is that Square did a conference. They did a fucking a fancy pants conference and announced that they were cancelling all the DLC and that the creator had left.
Fucking worst conference ever.
Who drew the straw to give that announcement?
Yeah.
Like, no, they were like, okay.
It should be the same guy as that Diablo one. It's the guy that had to give the Diablo announcement. Do you see that?
Should have just cancelled the Final Fantasy remake as well. Final Fantasy 7 remake, just to that should have been the last thing. And one more thing.
Jordan, I need to ask you a question. Do you own a phone?
No, I'm too hardcore.
Don't you guys have phones?
What did you think to the Diablo thing where everyone was expecting them to say Diablo 4 and they said that there's a mobile game, and then every entitled gamer lost their mind that a mobile game was coming out?
I think it's been commented on enough, but it's a mix of gamers being trash and but also just terrible.
We are. Yeah.
But like somebody said
who you're speaking with, don't release a mobile game as the last game in a conference towards a million of PC gamers.
And the worst part is that game's gonna make the most money out of like everything they announced. Like I'm sure everyone's talking shit about it now, but like I'm gonna play it. I played fucking 50 hours of that Animal Crossing phone game. I take the train.
But it's as simple as it shouldn't have ended on it. That's all.
No.
Like
But a lot of people, I looked on Reddit and like one of the top comments was somebody saying, "Oh, but we know that there's a Diablo 4 in the works. So why don't they just even put an image and say coming soon?" I was like, "Well, you're not entitled to them saying that. Like, you're not a bunch of animals that you must be shown even just an image just to like they're just
I mean, they saw what Bethesda did with Elder Scrolls.
I thought that was well received
in the E3.
Yeah,
I got so angry when I saw that. It was really annoying.
That's what they wanted.
They showed a picture or something of Elder Scrolls 6, and that's it.
Yeah,
like when they announced Fallout Shelter, it was like right before they announced Fallout 4, right? So like that was like a nice like if they would have been like Diablo coming to phone and then like and also a logo. I mean, it's stupid. I hate when they do that, but like that would have lessened the blow of people crying.
If your presentation involves something that I can put together, you need to rethink that shit. You need to give me a call, let me know if I can do, or I'll let you know if I can do it, and then if I can, you need to scrap it.
Also, it looks
start over.
It's supposed to be crap. There's apparently as Mr. Scott says, it's a reskin of a Chinese RPG.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
So,
but that's another thing. People should be really like positive about big companies making mobile games, because we really need better mobile games. There's so many bad ones, so it's actually really great that big companies are trying, and it's clearly a future there.
Yeah, I hope they don't switch.
It's interesting you should say that, because there are so many bad games, and that's because I don't know if Zynga is still around anymore. But I had a few friends who worked there, and Zynga is one of the worst companies to work for, because they did that whole like 100 hours a week thing without any extra pay, and then they produced bullshit games that nobody likes, and they barely get any downloads, and they're free. So I think it would be really nice to get like a company that has a reputation for making really good games and then making some mobile games, not necessarily to supplement what you already have, but I'll play a little match 3 game made by Blizzard. That's fine. And it'll take them like 2 weeks to put together, so
yeah,
just
match
do it.
3 game by Blizzard would be incredible. I want to see a Hideo Kojima match 3 game.
Can you imagine if that would be though? That would be so amazing.
There are some great games. What was that one, the Civilization-esque one that we were playing on?
Fucking Polytopia. I've spent hundreds of hours on Polytopia.
Guys,
ridiculous.
Play Polytopia. If you like Civ, is it free? Like the first?
It's free, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the first bits are free. You can like unlock more civilizations to play as if you enjoy it, and you pay. It's not no loot box or anything like that. You'll choose which one you want to play as, and you can download it. But there's like at least 3 or 4 that you start, maybe even more that you start off with that are free.
Yeah, you start with 4, and you're allowed to get 1 more. I bought like 3 already. I was just like, why not? I fucking spent so much time playing that game anyway, so yeah, it's great. That and Alto's Odyssey on the phone is also a great phone. I've been flying a lot. All right, I've needed a game that I can just take my phone out and play when my fucking Switch inevitably died.
Well, all right, we're gonna call it an end now. Stick around, guys. We'll host, but first, Jordan, how do we find you?
Have a little look on Twitter.
All right, just look on Twitter. Andre, how do we find you?
See if you find me.
What's up?
How do we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at I'ma Make Movies. Just type that in, something will come up, some weird stuff will come up. Ignore the weird stuff.
No, you should look into the weird stuff. Somebody needs to look into
Don't look into the weird stuff. Please don't look into the weird stuff.
I'll report that.
Mellum, how do we find you?
Rønneberggata 15 31 40 Tønsberg.
What the fuck?
Fucking.
I think that was the world god.
He only wants Norwegian viewers to find him.
Yeah,
that's my address.
He'll show you his.
You'll speak American on this podcast. Thank you very much.
He'll show you his world serpent. And Flighty Broad, how do we find you?
Twitch.tv/thatflightybroad.
Flighty Broad. What are you playing this week?
If you wanna...
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! I was gonna give you my ChatterBait address, but then I'm not gonna do that anymore because you gave me a different question.
Oh.
This week I'm going to be finishing up BioShock 2. I'm trying to move into a 6-hour streaming schedule, which has been very difficult, but I'm still
6 hours a week or 6 hours?
Friends. That's why.
6 hours in a row.
Yeah, 6 hours a week. No, 6 hours at a pop.
Wow.
So please come and keep me company. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And follow me, BiggusBennus on everything except for Twitter. I'm BiggusBennus1 on there. One day when I'm famous, I'll force
always
that
sound
back.
so sad and disappointed when you tell us your Twitter address.
BiggusBennus1.
Yeah. Shit. Some guy doesn't even use it as well. Fuck it. All right. Okay, stick around. We're going to go and send a host over to Devon Bumpkin, who is playing a Game of the Year contender, Life is Strange 2. So obviously
fuck yeah.
I streamed it earlier on in this last month, so don't send any spoilers to him.
But you don't take it seriously, Ben.
I do. I love it. It's actually really good. I did take this one seriously. All right. Bye, people.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.